I'm Beth Heile, and I'm here again at Cat and Mouse Game Store in Chicago, Illinois to introduce you to a pair of games from a French-Canadian company called Scorpion Mask. Now they have some big titles that are going to be coming out in the next couple months, but these two are here in the United States and ready to go right now. And we found that they are really unique and different and definitely worth checking out. So the first one we're going to look at is Climb, which is for 1 to 5 players, so it is a solo game, and it's kind of like Twister for your fingers. And the second game we have here is Traffic, which is spelled with 3 F's if you're looking this one up, and it's for 2 to 4 players and plays in about 15 minutes. So we're going to do a quick overview of both of these games from Scorpion Mask. Now the first game that we're going to look at is Climb, which is basically a tabletop version of Twister for your fingers. Now we're going to start by laying out the base card here, and then we're going to lay out a series of hole cards until there are at least 10 holes on the board. And then we'll put the summit card up there on the top. Now you notice intentionally that you're supposed to leave a card-sized hole here between the base and the first card, and likewise between the last card and the summit. Now you're going to be scored based on the number of fingers that you can get in the holes at the same time. And that's what this little helper card here is for. You'll note that each finger is also color-coded, so only certain fingers are going to be allowed in certain holes. And there must be 1 finger on the board at all times. So we're going to start by placing 1 finger in this starting space here. So I'm going to place my 4-finger. Now my very next hole here is green, which means it has to be my middle finger. And the more fingers that I can stretch, when I am comfortable, I would say score. I have 4 fingers on the board, so I would score 6 points. Now, I haven't caused any of the cards to shuffle around or move, so I haven't fallen off. So I can go again. I have to release until I have all but 1 finger left on the board, and now I have to place again. And the only easy move that I see is right here over to the next green card. So I only have 2 fingers on the board. I will say score again. And for 2 fingers, I only get 1 point. Then I have to release until I have only 1 finger on the board again, and so on. And this one's going to be really tricky, and if I disturb the card, I've now fallen off and my turn is over. Now, if you fall off, you still get the amount of points that you accumulated to that point, but obviously you cannot collect any more. Every person takes 1 try at this mountain. Once that's complete, you're going to switch the first and the last card, and you're going to add 1 more, and you'll start a new round with this slightly new mountain, and likewise you'll make the 3rd mountain even more difficult and more complicated than before. And you'll notice that there are a couple cards here that have a double ring. This has a blue and a green ring, so I would have to put 2 fingers in there. That would be my pointer finger and my middle finger, would both have to go in that spot. The next one that we're going to look at is Traffic, and that is spelled with 3 F's if you're looking this one up. And if you're a fan of the game Set, then you'll probably also really like this one too. Just the board is going to be shifting a lot more frequently than it does in Set, which is part of the fun. Each player is going to be dealt a hand of pattern cards like this that have some combination of cards and colors on them. And then we're going to randomly place these cards out on the board. Now, when we say go, at the same time, all the players simultaneously are going to be looking for their patterns on the board. And if they see one of the patterns on their card, they're going to say beep beep. The game is supposed to pause. And you're supposed to prove that your card does indeed match that pattern. So yellow, yellow, blue, yellow, yellow, blue. Beep beep. And I flip that card over to show that I have found that pattern. Now, perhaps none of the patterns that I'm looking for are out here on the board. Well, that's okay. I can grab this green token here, which allows me to do one of 2 things. I can either move 1 piece, 1 link away or 1 block away, or I can flip-flop 2 pieces that are adjacent, and flipping them on the diagonal is okay too, as long as they're only 1 link away. And hopefully that has allowed me to do some brilliant move that then I can now say beep beep, which that actually does. It allows me this red, red, blue, and this one's on the diagonal, red, red, blue. So I'd say beep, beep, and flip that one over. Now, whoever is the first one to flip over all their cards is going to be the winner. So we'll say that's me. In the next round, as a penalty, I'm going to be dealt out a number of green cards to make it a little bit harder for me because I'm ahead of the rest of the players. And each of those have a combination of 3 cards and an empty space. And you have to find that combination, including the empty space, to be able to flip over those green penalty cards. So that should give you an introduction to these 2 games from Scorpion Masks, Climb and Traffic. Now, as you know, I love to give recommendations at the end of a video based on what game we've just been talking about. And unfortunately for Climb, it is so unique that really the only game that comes to mind is Twister. But if you are a fan of dexterity games, this one does feel very differently because it's one of the few dexterity games that does not require aim, just precision. And you can take as long as you want to achieve that precision. So it is a very precise precision game. So that's definitely worth giving a try. Now, Traffic is a fantastic pattern matching game. And as we've already mentioned, if you like that idea, then you probably love Set, which is one of the classic pattern matching games. But on the same genre, you might also want to check out Bedecked, which is matching elements across a variety of beads and then stringing them into a necklace. And finally, if you like the speed aspect to Traffic, where you're all trying to find patterns at the same time, then we recommend Jungle Speed, which is definitely brings a party feel to what you get in Traffic, since this can play up to 6 to 8 players, or even a few more if you can find room for them around the table. Now, as always, you're welcome to come into Cat and Mouse and give these a try. We'd love to challenge somebody to a mega game of Climb using all the cards. So if you think that sounds interesting, come down here to Cat and Mouse and give it a try.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.